Welcome back, everyone. We're Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebs. Joining us today, fellow Bitcoiner who likes to educate, I'd say educate the no-coiners and the fellow Bitcoiners, and she likes to learn about Bitcoin. I'm talking about Camila Campton. She's joining us today. First, we're going to the numbers. Let's do it.
Number time! Number Time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference ever. Get your tickets quickly before the price goes up, or you can take advantage of the link down below for 10% off your tickets to Bitcoin 2022.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 717,339. The Bitcoin price, 45,665. Oh, that's stackable. Chain rewrite days, 745. Total public lightning capacity, 3,300.93. Moscow time, 2190. Blocks to the halvening, 122,661. Nico, the numbers.
Boring. That's how I feel
man.
about that.
But that 30-minute chart looks choppy as hell. I know. We don't speculate, but we like to make fun of the patterns, and it just looks choppy as hell. It's crazy.
You're going to have to send me an image of that so I can show everybody. But
I will.
Dude.
I'll take a screenshot right now so we have a perfect time.
Man, we've just been consolidating we've been at this price for a while now. Dude, this has been brutal, Phil, covering the... Usually we have a lot more excitement, but I think this is a great opportunity because we've been bringing on so many guests and we've been asking what they've been feeling during this really long consolidation. So I'm going to pass it on to Camila. Camila, what are your thoughts about all this? I was about to call you bro, but I didn't. I caught myself. Anyways, if you were from Miami and you were a girl and I called you bro, I would not feel bad because you would understand. But the fact that you're not from Miami and if I called you bro and you were a girl, you would think that was weird. So I'm glad I caught myself. But anyways, back.
You could call me bro, dude. That's fine.
I feel bad. I felt bad. Anyway, okay. Back to we're all bros. It's true. Anyways, back to this. Cammy, how have you felt about the Bitcoin price stuck in time? What has been your thoughts about it, your feelings, your emotions, all that good stuff?
Yeah, honestly, it's been kind of weird because during December, I just kept looking back at 1 year ago when I started in Bitcoin. And last December felt so different with the price pumping. Everyone was just going crazy. It felt like a different type of Christmas celebration, New Year celebration. And then this year it felt so calm. And it was just like, interesting. But, we're always preaching about how, it doesn't matter. If it dips, it's a perfect opportunity for you to buy. Just keep stacking. Just keep hodling. So for me, it just felt like a very calm time to reflect on how we can conquer the world together even more by stacking cheap stats. So this is basically, this is the time to just put your head down, start thinking about the future. You're still stacking. Everything's really cool. It's not like we're at zero. It's never going to zero. This is the time to just start rallying in and just feeling more bullish than ever. So.
Hell yeah. Wow. I love that attitude. Phil?
Too many of us would stack. We always talk about this, right? Everybody always talks about, in Twitter spaces, talks about Bitcoin going to zero. There's way too many of us that would buy it all the way down. So that's why anybody who sits there, anytime we see that argument, right, it's always hilarious. Like, yeah, Bitcoin's going to zero. It's like, when? When do I get my chance? And there's so many of us. It's like...
So, Camila, we were, at least I was, I'm not going to, rat out Phil, but I was expecting 100K Bitcoin by December. I didn't say it on the channel because we like to focus on the signal, not the noise. But, and I know a lot of, good friends of mine, big accounts on Twitter were also expecting 100K, I mean, plan B, but plan F. Plan Z. I just want to point out, we were on Corey's side when that whole thing happened, and Plan B banned us for it.
Oh no!
Yep.
What now? What now, Plan B? Huh?
We were blocked personally, but then we were blocked as Simply Bitcoin too.
Oh!
Right.
I haven't been blocked yet, but I was bullish that I thought, if it goes to 100K, that's amazing. But then honestly, there was a bigger part of me that was like, I'm not ready for it yet.
Okay.
I am not ready. I don't think I'm ready mentally for it just yet. Emotionally, I feel like obviously we're going to be really happy and stuff, but then we're like, are we prepared to actually get on that price? Are we prepared just yet? Or do I need to work on myself a little bit more before it really goes,
I like that attitude.
parabolic?
So
So
Camila makes an amazing point, okay? And that's something that Bitcoiners don't think about enough, and it's great that you brought that up, right? It's important to know yourself, right? And it goes back to Matt Odell's, what he says about being humble, but it's also like, look, many of us know exactly what it's like to hold a stagnant or losing asset, okay? But people can't really imagine what happens when something goes beyond your wildest dreams. Right? Because let's face it, Bitcoin has astounded many of us, right? Many of us look at it in awe. So it's like, yeah, you may be ready to hodl this thing to 0, but are you really ready to hodl this thing to 500,000? Are you ready to hodl this thing to 1 million? That's the truth. So good point, Camila.
yeah, no, we definitely have to prepare ourselves for that and see that this is a time of opportunity. Probably the biggest time of opportunity that we have. We have a lot of newcomers. I still feel like I'm a newcomer because it's just been a year for me. People that got in 2021, like this is the opportunity. Because a lot of people say, oh, I wish I would have gotten in at 2013. This is like our 2013 opportunity for the newcomers.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
Stack as much as you can.
I like that. Speaking of the new beginning, check this out. Some signal. This tweet is by okay, you guys got it. There you go. Thank you, Camila. It's usually Phil correcting because Nico can't read, but I appreciate that. Okay,
Thank you.
What we consider, buddy, evolves sometime. There's an awesome graphic, right? It went from seashells for the caveman, and it went from precious metals. The ancients knew what's up. Then the precious metals were deposited. I guess people regressed because they went to paper.
We got screwed, man. We got screwed.
And it was gold backed. Right? They're like, okay, I'll put it in the bank as long as that paper is backed by something. And then this is when the scam happened. This is when the fiat money, which we're currently living through. And then we're in this transition, which is why it's so chaotic. And this is why I wanted to talk about this image. We're in the transition between the industrial age and the information age. And in terms of money, between the fiat and Bitcoin, right? And they call it proof of work. I like that as well, right? The digital advent of money. Anyways, and if you still don't believe me, check out this following graphic. All global reserve currencies have a shelf life, right? This is Spain. This is the Netherlands, I'm pretty sure. Then this is France. Then this is the UK, right? And here is the USA. And as you can see, look, they all had a peak, a very quick peak, right? They were only peak for a little bit, right? France for a little bit, and then the UK for a little bit, and the US for a little bit, and now it's on the way down. So really interesting graphic, right? Now, is Bitcoin, gonna take it up? And I have an even better question for you guys. Is it gonna maintain that dominance? Ooh.
Yes.
Right? The short answer?
Yes. Okay. I love it. All right. It's like when we asked the Nodal guys, like, what is a node? And he was like, yep.
No joke. He didn't even answer us.
He's like, yeah. Okay. Anyways, Phil, is it gonna remain at the top? There's no way to know this, but I'm just so.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Speculation. Okay, so one thing I want to point out before I answer that question, that little bump for the US, right? You'd think with all the advertising, right, and all the marketing as a country, right, that we've done, our bump at the top would be a little bigger, right? But it's not. It's not much different than any of the other countries, which tells me that it's exactly the same thing. So to answer your question, it just goes up forever, right? In the infamous words of Michael Saylor, it just goes up forever. And we don't understand this yet because we've never had money that was this hard that can absorb value the way that it does. So we understand it. We understand it in our way right now.
And and another thing I want to point out about that chart is that if you know a little bit about world history, the militaries of those countries dominated at the time. For Spain, it was the Spanish Empire. It was literally, you know, all of Latin America, Mexico, Florida. It was huge, right? France, the same thing, Napoleon, right? After that is the UK, the British Empire. The sun never sets on the British Empire, etc., etc. Then it's the American Empire after we won World War II, kicked everyone's ass, right? You know, dropped some nukes. Bad joke. But point is, right, is that these were big, giant military powers. Now, Bitcoin doesn't have that. It doesn't have a military backing it. But Jason, whatever, likes to make that Spook, the Space Force guy, he likes to make that likes to make the argument that proof of work replaces kinetic war, kinetic strength, right? So I don't know. Just thoughts on that, guys, and then we'll move on.
I just want to comment that you're also comparing this chart. It's all countries, but Bitcoin does not belong to this one country. It belongs to humanity, you know? It's all of the countries in the world right there, which is why I believe it's just going to continue, because as all the countries start to adopt it, what can overcome it? Absolutely nothing. So you're going to have a chart that maybe US is the last country that will just be mentioned on its own. And then when Bitcoin comes on, it's the whole world. So how are you going to compete with that? It's really, really hard.
Absolutely. Phil?
We need other planets. That's what we need. We're going to need other planets, and like that's it. And that brings us to, I'm totally forgetting what his name is.
Are you talking about a shit coin? Mars coin, Phil? Is that what you're trying to show?
No, not a shit coin, because there'd be a chain that would come back and it would be able to check with the Bitcoin main chain. I'm totally forgetting who wrote that article, but there's a guy who was talking about Bitcoin in space and then like the universe and how like that would work. And I'm totally forgetting. It's a great article. I'm not doing it any justice, so I'll shut up.
Anyways. Great.
Yeah, you can't compete with proof of work, Nico. You know, even if a shitcoin came from another galaxy, Bitcoin would destroy it.
This is true.
It's true.
But anyways,
there'd still only be 21 million Bitcoin.
Anyways, Phil, we're running late. It's time for the Daily Fail.
The Daily Fail is brought to you by Amber app. Check them out. It's Bitcoin made easy. It's the easiest way to stack Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin app by actual toxic Bitcoiners. Check out the link down below. All right, Yellow.
No.
There's not a chance. There's not a chance that you think these CBDs can win.
Don't stop believing.
So what would you have me do?
Hodl to that feeling.
Amber, the smart way to stack sats.
Before we dive into the fail, all right, I just want to make a comment in case you guys haven't noticed. We switched it up a little bit, right? We told you that we were going to switch this up in 2022. So now you may have noticed that we're doing premieres, right? Where both Nico and I are chatting with everyone when the shows drop at noon each day, Eastern Standard Time. Now, when those shows drop, what happens is that YouTube puts up a version of it that is much lower quality until it actually can complete the higher quality HD upload. And today, unfortunately, because we were running a little bit late, everybody experienced the first copy, the YouTube will say standard quality. Going forward, we're going to make sure that we got this uploaded a lot sooner for you guys, and that way it's clear so that you can clearly see our ugly faces and make fun of us. Just a public service announcement. We'll get better. And just letting you know, yes, it's our fault and we suck. Anyways, moving on. I've got 3 fails. 2 of them are really light. 1 of them is really scary. Let's dive into it. The first one, so I don't usually quote Brad Mills, but this is a very interesting one. He's an interesting type of Bitcoiner. Anyways, here we go. From a recent Bloomberg article, the term shitcoin has Lindy effect. And it's here to stay whether the VCs and crypto fund managers suits that push altcoins like it or not. And he makes a really great point here. The terms junk bond and penny stock never went away. Neither will shitcoin. And he is absolutely right. I was an amateur stock trader before I got into Bitcoin. And yeah, penny stocks and junk bonds, I mean, that is, professionals use those terms. Like, it's not just like some slang on the street. Like, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so I just want to point out that shitcoin's here to stay. It was already said by somebody in the government, okay, and people use it on a regular basis to describe everything other tan Bitcoin. So too bad, cry harder. Anyways, okay, so this is actually hilarious. This is a great NFT fail. Here we go. Okay, this is Samuel_Clack, clinical psychologist. I like this. My favorite part of Twitter at the moment is crypto bros getting roasted for inventing worse versions of already existing ideas. These are great. All right, check this out. That's a PDF. You're describing a PDF. And the person retweeted, literature NFTs will change the world.
Literature NFTs.
Come on, literature NFT? All right, here we go. I'm so here for that. Not only literature as we know it, but merged with visual mediums into multi-layered, programmable, composable experiences which can adapt and change over time. It's going to be so lit. And the person responds, a website. You're thinking of a website.
The ratio, bro. The ratio is
so yes.
That's the funniest part, the ratio. Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. I feel like literature and the metaverse are going to go hand in hand. I imagine writers collaborating with artists for immersive experiences we never thought of before. Exciting stuff. This is a movie. This is so good. Okay, last one. You can have books sold as special editions, which include NFTs of original artwork included in the book, or ebooks, where they are recorded as NFTs. This in turn means it can be linked to a smart contract, which can automatically assign royalty payments and a % of resale commission. And this person responds, or you could get a publishing contract. This is exactly it. This NFTs remind me, especially like this whole stage in Bitcoin, right? This all reminds me of the early .com boom and bust. Okay, like all these random products decided that they needed to be their own websites. They had to be their own world. Okay, we're going to have a community. Okay, people are going to come here. They're going to shop. Okay, they're going to shop for pencils, but they're going to talk about their lives, right? Then they're going to post pictures about their life. Like that's not what's happening. That's not really what's happening. And this is the total proof. Like NFTs are just an extension of this absolute garbage that doesn't need to exist. And I mean, these tweets and the ratios just prove it.
Dude, absolutely hilarious. I think that the definition one where, you know, like he was comparing it to like penny stocks and like that name's stuck. Like, yeah, that name's gonna stick. That name isn't going anywhere. Go pound sand. And yeah, I don't even have anything to say about those tweets because those tweets said everything. You know, anyways, Camila, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, you know what's really sad? I think it's just so sad that these people are trying to reinvent the wheel instead of focusing on other things that could probably really help humanity. And they're just like so focused on making this happen, but it's like, it's already happening. Get outside of your computer, of your cell phone, and look at the world around you because it already exists. You know, you don't need to reinvent anything. It's already there. Why don't you try to focus on other cool things that we need to work on as humanity? And that's my whole thing against like NFTs and shitcoins and stuff. It's like you're trying to reinvent something that we don't need. We have other problems to solve. And that's why I get bullish on Bitcoin, because that's exactly where I see this happening.
Absolutely.
It's like a nail on the head.
It's like it's a distraction from what's important, and that distraction is it's in the word, distracting noobs away from, you know, the actual thing that's really going to change the world. But anyways, Phil, what is the next fail?
All right, get ready. This one gets dirty. Here we go. So look, I know everybody loves Facebook. Everybody wants Facebook to know more about their lives. Yeah, no, what do you mean? Come on, everybody. Yeah, I know exactly. I want Mark to have way more control over my life.
I do.
Right now. And I want to give it to him for free. Okay? I want him to have it for free, and actually I want to hand him the shackles that make me a prisoner.
Listen, I don't want to own anything and be happy, okay, Phil? This is what's going on.
Nico, your prayers have been answered. So have mine. Welcome to future slavery. I thought that this was... Okay, so first, I have to give a shout out to Mykoshi, right, for bringing this up to us, because it was Mykoshi, fellow Bitcoin pleb, who brought this up to us. But take a look. The Meta wallet. This is fantastic. And the Meta coin. Okay, so at first, when I went onto this website, I didn't realize that global-meta.io was Zuckerberg's shitcoin. I thought that it was just some random shitcoin, but lo and behold, it's backed by some major creepiness. It is the shitcoin for the meta universe. And this, to me, is creepy as hell, because people will remember 2 years ago, I think, Bitcoin time screws me up. I say it every time. Could have been 1 year ago, could have been 3 years ago. They tried to come out with Libra. Okay, they tried to make this other shitcoin and immediately got spanked, and the government was like, hell no, you're not making money, bud. Not a chance. What do they have, 3 billion users, and all of a sudden they're going to introduce money? So, obviously, in some sly roundabout way, he's figured out to make himself a shitcoin, okay? And here we go. Let's dive into it, right? This is the metaverse. This is the metaverse token, or Meta. And yeah, they're bringing Web 3.0. So, okay, before we dive into it, the Web 3.0 that they talk about is this centralized garbage where these close, tight-knit VCs like A16Z circle jerk themselves and own all of our information. Okay, this is their version of Web 3.0. Our version of Web 3.0, which is the one that is emerging naturally as a grassroots movement because screw all of you and freedom, okay, that's going to be built on Bitcoin. So what we're looking at here is garbage. Okay, I'm done with the intro. Here we go. Metaverse and Web 3.0. This is great. You guys are going to appreciate the writing. When I was digging into this, I loved the writing. Capture the privileges of the metaverse world with Meta, with VR and AR technology, or Boiler. What the fuck is Boiler? Anyways, full transparency, more trust. That's right, more trust. Minimize risk, maximize rewards. Well, that sounds good. I like that. I'm somebody who likes to do absolutely nothing and get paid for it, so this totally tickles my fancy. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. For the Meta. The Meta system will facilitate a more accessible, more connected global and financial system. Okay, so guys, keep in mind, right, as I read these little tidbits, think about Bitcoin. Think about how Facebook could have simply, and I know this for a fact because I know how many programmers they have. They've got lots of intelligent people working for them, lots of programmers. They could easily have written code for Bitcoin and integrated Bitcoin into Facebook. But Mark doesn't get to be the king of his little shitcoin castle.
And it's
not enough that he's the... Huh?
It's much more profitable to send a token.
This is way more profitable. Right? Such douchebags, these people.
And connect it. This is why the VCs don't build on Bitcoin.
That's exactly why the VCs don't build on Bitcoin. A lot more
profitable to, do the orb coin and scan everybody's eyeball, and
And this is what we've been saying. That's exactly right. And again, right? We're just gonna, just to round it up as to all of because we're gonna show the offerings that they have, right? So here we go. They're using Web 3.0 technology. Meta provides an easy, secure, and private path. It's very important, that part, the private path, right? Because of what we just explained to you. You see, it's not about a really, truly inclusive world for everyone. It's about the world they want to create and create the barriers to entry for. That's what it's about. Anyways, it also hosts Web 3.0 NFTs, MetaHuman, staking, DeFi, and so literally they took all of the shitcoin ideas. This is what Meta did. They took all the shitcoin ideas and they're plowing it into one ecosystem. Now, we've seen this before, so they're not doing anything new here. Nothing new at all.
What the hell is a metahuman?
I still haven't figured that out yet. As I was reading it, I was thinking like it's maybe like a person who partially lives in the real world but spends most of their time in the metaverse.
But
or a person that somehow, huh?
If you die in the metaverse, do you die? How does this work?
Zuckerberg takes your soul.
Already took a lot of people's souls. They just don't realize it.
Man, okay, but listen.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the token by Zuck, right?
Yeah, no, that's why I'm getting to this. Don't worry, we are diving into this.
This looks like a shitcoin website.
It's a total shitcoin, man. It's a total shitcoin, okay? And here we go. This is the Web 3.0 offerings, right? This is the stuff we were just reading about. Accessibility. There's already Bitcoin. You don't need this. You could have just been building on Bitcoin, but you didn't. And you'll notice, right? All the shitcoin projects, they all need a token, and none of them actually contribute to Bitcoin, but the only reason any of them exist, any of them are given any validity, is because Bitcoin exists. And that's the problem, right? Like, that they don't deserve that validity. But anyways, I digress. Accessibility, NFT. This one is hilarious. World? What is that? It's just world? MetaHuman, there we go. Camila, it's the MetaHumans. Is a cloud-streamed app that takes real-time digital human creation from weeks or even months to less than an hour at an unprecedented standard of quality and fidelity. Like, none of this needs to be money, guys. This is the point. As I'm reading through this and you're like, this is ridiculous crap, Phil. Yes, it is. It is ridiculous crap, and none of it needs to be money. Okay, so I'll get to the best part of this whole thing.
I just want to say they have a really crappy website. Like, it's a really crappy website. Like, no effort whatsoever. Who created this?
I'm going to agree, and it's kind of surprising, right? Considering the amount of money and know-how that they have at Facebook, you'd think that but you see, they want to blend in, and don't get me wrong, for at least 10 seconds, I was fooled. Good, like 10, 15 seconds, I'm like, why does this sound so much like Facebook? And they're using the new Meta logo. Are they allowed to do this? And of course, you could see right here, who's behind the idea, the founder. It's not a joke. It's Mark Zuckerberg, and here you go. Here's the team. Sheryl Sandberg, Andrew Bosworth. No, and it's not the Bosworth that people, it's not Alex Bosworth, so people should not get those two confused. Alex Bosworth is an awesome Lightning dev that like tweets out cool shit and does cool stuff.
I don't know who that is. I don't get it confused.
No, I know, but some people might see the name and right away, associate it with the wrong person.
Okay.
So look, there you go. That's the Meta token. This is what we're up against. Apparently, we're up against try number 2 from the Zuck.
Dude, no, to be honest with you, it's not try number... Oh my god, my hair went crazy.
It is try number 2.
It's not try number 2, dude. He tried... A lot of people don't know this, but he tried releasing his own currency before, and it failed. I forget what it was like. No.
Before Libra?
Yes, he had Facebook...
So this is try number 3?
Yes. He has not let this go. And I'll pull it up. It was Facebook dollars, and it was failed. Discontinued. Then he tried Libra. He got destroyed by the reason we keep telling you guys, if it's centralized, there's an inherent point of failure that governments will go after, right? Satoshi said it himself. This is try number 3. And anyways,
he always wants to be king.
Why would you trust Zuckerberg holding your future, your wealth, your energy, or in Bitcoin, you don't have to trust anybody but yourself? Like, I don't know. Anyways, Camila, what are your thoughts on all this?
I don't know if to laugh or cry, to be honest. I say this because more of the people that are going to buy into this, and they probably see as Zuck as like, wow, well, he created Facebook. He definitely knows what he's doing with this. And so they're going to just buy into it. So I think, those are the souls that he's going to be stealing from sometime. And that's our job as Bitcoiners, is just call this BS out and be like, this is not worth your time or your effort or your precious money. And eventually you're going to get wrecked if you just buy into it. So.
Absolutely.
To Camila's point, right? Take a look at this. This thing doesn't even trade. I mean, not that it should have a value, but look, it automatically has a value of $1.65. Like, well, nobody's using it. It has...
Obviously, dude, Zuckerberg came up with a number.
And the fact that they accept Bitcoin. Trade your Bitcoin for this crap. It needs to make you think, like, why would they want my Bitcoin? You definitely want something that has a lot more value for something that's crap. They want your Bitcoin. That's what they want, because they see the value and they don't want to share it with you. Well, we Bitcoiners do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know what? To her point, right? Like, that's kind of the way the social network was built. Our information, which is extremely valuable for some cheap crap.
Yep.
That's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's exactly what we got. Did we get what we deserve? I don't know. But anyways, Phil, it's time for Daily Meme Review. The Daily Meme Review is brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's by Bitcoiners, savage Bitcoin plebs. It's articles, comics, artwork, really cool stuff. Scarce, only 1,000 copies made per volume. Anyways, get your copy of Citadel 21 today. All right, everybody, check this out. First meme is brought to us by a friend of the show, Phil Geiger. He works at Unchained. Anyways, check it out. Web3, we demand to be taken seriously. We all feel the same. That is a great meme. Anyways, by Spinte. He'll be on the show on Friday. Check this out. Government, law enforcement, shitcoiner, Bitcoiners, the society. Absolutely hilarious.
Very well done.
Very
it's so
good.
true, it hurts.
I know, right? Absolutely. The infinity loop. I totally feel this, Labberhodl. 46K, you are here, 47K. That's what it feels like, honestly. And then it's not left or right, it's middle of curve versus everybody else. Phil and I are right here. Camila is right here. All the college-educated blue check marks are right here. Anyways,
And the shitcoiners.
And the shitcoiners. For that, Phil, I'm going to give it... You go first, because apparently I lost my score.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Kind of threw me off by having me go first, but love those memes. And you know what? This is going to be one of those, if you know, you know. Everybody played with Frisbees as a kid, but did you play with an aerobie?
What the F is that, Phil?
Dang.
If you know, you know.
Oh, okay. See? Okay. Anyways, I'm going to give it my Iceland. I got this in Iceland. It's a little winter hat. Yeah. Look, soft.
It just looks so warm.
Yeah, it is really warm.
You should put it
Anyways,
on.
I should, right? Okay.
You should.
All right. Camila, what would you give those memes?
I would give it this bear that's kind of like laughing, smirking, because we have a whole bunch of bears on Twitter right now. And you guys need to freaking focus. Again.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like that. Very symbolic. Very symbolic.
I like that.
And you with the hats?
Yeah, Iceland.
I'm the only one who's not in theme here with my Frisbee.
I know. You put it on. Anyways, guys, we want to know, do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comment section. You guys know the drill. We say some things that piss off people in high places, aka the central bank. Well, make sure to subscribe to us on alternative video platforms like rumble.com and our personal favorite, bitcointv.com. They don't censor there. It's Bitcoin TV. And, of course, join our Telegram group. Link us some Bitcoin memes to review. There's a Bitcoin meme review. And we review memes because it's a Bitcoin meme review. Anyways, Phil, it's time for the daily news. Do you like 3D printed stuff? Do you like Bitcoin? Well, get yourself the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the 3D printed Bitcoin Honey Badger or the 3D printed Bitcoin Art Grenade from Cloaks, the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch stuff. Anyways, you can take advantage of the link down below for 5% off CryptoCloaks.com. Alright guys, you know the drill. We've been covering this for a couple months, and I keep telling you that in the future, you're going to have to pick between freedom and slavery. What do I mean by that? We're heading into a world where you're going to have two alternatives, right? One being Bitcoin, a decentralized open monetary network that has rules without rulers that no one controls. Or you're going to have to pick between the central bank's money and what they plan to do, which is central bank digital currencies that's going to allow governments to control all facets of your life like you have no idea. We've been telling you that this is going to develop. We've been covering it on the show, and now I have a couple updates for you guys, and let's check it out. So this article just came out, or maybe it came out yesterday, a couple days ago. China has released pilot versions of its digital yuan wallet application on mobile phones app stores as the country's central bank steps up its push to develop its own digital currency. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, China, totalitarian government, what the F does that have to do with anything? Bear with me. The eSenWai pilot version app developed by the People's Bank of China, a digital currency research institution, was available for download on Chinese Android app stores on Tuesday in Shanghai. Okay, so check this out, right? January 4th. What's going on here? Why are they releasing it this date? Well, this awesome Twitter account, right? China's central bank launches iOS and Android app for digital yuan transactions in selected cities ahead of the Winter Olympics, right? And the Olympics, they're actually like a pretty big event for countries, and countries like to show off, right? And think about what China did with banning Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin transactions in the country, and you think it's a coincidence that they're also launching their own central bank digital currency pilot program. It's all interconnected. And the future is essentially you're going to have to pick, right, between freedom money and central bank digital currency money. And now what does central bank digital currency money enable, right? Because it's absolutely terrifying, right? Check this out. This is the Chinese social credit system. How does this enable this? Because the central bank and the government, the extension of the government, is going to have the ability to see anything that you spend your money on, a politician that, perhaps they don't agree with, right? Your political viewpoints. We know that some people have been banned off PayPal recently, because they have conservative viewpoints in the United States. We're apolitical, but, just pointing out that it does happen, right? If you drive too far, right? If you eat too much steak for that week, right? The government is going to be able to see what you spend and what you don't spend your money on. This is already happening in China, right? Which is absolutely terrifying. And the reason that China is releasing this now, the reason that they banned Bitcoin mining, is because they're trying to push this system to the rest of the world, because that's the only way it works. If there's two monetary systems and they compete for you, it's not going to work, right? If there's a freedom system, it's not going to work. So China's trying to push this system and with the Chinese social credit system to other countries. And the thing is, the totalitarians in all governments around the world are falling in love with this. They're addicted to power, and they see this as like, hey, you know what? It's a pretty good system. Anyways, I'm going to go down some of these steps on the Chinese social credit system to kind of get you an idea of how evil this stuff is. Chinese social credit system, engaging in charity work, traffic offenses such as jaywalking, you fall down. Taking care of elderly family members, you go up. Illegally protesting against the authorities, you go down. Not visiting aging parents regularly, you go down. Positively influencing one's neighborhood, like how, according to. Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Hold on, I gotta point this out, because look, don't get me wrong, right? Like, but not everybody's parents, were really the best. Some people, like, I know that, yeah, of course, you should have respect, for your mother giving birth to you and all that good stuff, but that also doesn't necessarily excuse what some parents do to their kids, because of their insecurities and stuff like that, and maybe, abuse, like psychological abuse. And I think that this is like, what's really scary about this stuff is that they try to blanket everything. And that's not what life is, right? Like, life is a gray area. A lot of us live in this gray area. Like, this is scary as hell,
dude.
Because of course, like that's like a point of contention for me, right? So, like when it comes to the parent stuff. So
tie this in, the central bank digital currency stuff with artificial intelligence, and you kind of see how the Chinese are trying to export their system to around the world and control every single facet of your life. And then on the other alternative, you have Bitcoin, sovereignty, individuals making their decisions over their own life, right? But anyways, it gets even worse. Protesting anti-government messages on social media. We covered the recent news from Australia and France, how they're going to require IDs to log in to, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. Spreading rumors on the internet. What does that mean? You guys remember misinformation? They're banning all that stuff from Twitter. Oh, look, this looks familiar. Insincere apologies for crimes. So who decides what's a crime? Participant in anything deemed to be a cult? Cheating in online games, right? And then here, when you're down here, look, it says it right here. What don't you have access to? You're ineligible for certain jobs, no access to private schools, public shaming, exposure either online or TVs and public spaces of the names, photos, and ID numbers, restricted access to public services, exclusion from booking flights or high-speed train tickets, denial of licenses, permits, and access to social services. Absolutely freaking terrifying. And if you still don't believe what I'm talking about, this is Naval, right? He's a very smart guy. Says the future currency wars are Western crypto versus Chinese central bank digital currencies, right? So this is the path between us. We have a path between freedom and slavery. I'm going to read you the foreword or a paragraph from one of the a must read for Bitcoiners called The Sovereign Individual. I'm going to read the last part. It's a preface by Peter Thiel. I got it right, Phil. It says, in truth, the great conflict of our mega political future is only just the beginning. Hold on, let me make a gallery view. On the dimension of technology, the conflict has two poles, AI and crypto. Artificial intelligence holds the prospect of finally solving what economists call the calculation problem. AI could theoretically make it possible to centrally control an entire economy, communism. It is not a coincidence that AI is the favorite technology of the Communist Chinese Party. Strong cryptography, on the other hand, on the other pole, holds out the prospect of a decentralized, individualized world. if AI is communist and crypto is libertarian, and kind of tie that in with the central bank digital currencies, and you see where I'm going with this. This is the future ahead of us, and the battle lines are getting more and more defined, and it's going to reach a point where you're going to have to pick a side. Do you want freedom or convenient slavery? Phil?
I just had to stack because we hit 44K. So while you were reading that awesome forward, that's what happened there. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of a different angle on this whole China thing, right? They're wonderful. No, okay. My angle is this: they banned Bitcoin during the summer, Bitcoin mining, right? And they quote unquote pushed it underground. And we have this introduction of the CBDCs right before the Olympics. So this is going to sound mean, but I think that it's much more egotistical, okay? And I think it's just a show of strength. Yes, you're absolutely right. Like, they want to usher in their whole future of slavery under the guise of whatever the hell that is. I don't even know what to call that. I know they want to pretend it's some type of a utopia, but that's just psychotic nonsense. But really, I just think it's a show of strength. And I just want to point out for Naval's tweet, I'm sorry, I know he's super smart and all that good stuff, but he's a shitcoiner, and he's contributed to some really nasty crap in the Bitcoin space. And the truth is that it's not Western cryptos versus Chinese CBDCs. It's Bitcoin versus everything else. But he can't say that because he's one of those people funneling money into trash. Sorry, not sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. And the reason that I still thought that tweet was useful, right? And look,
it is useful.
Why is it crypto and why is it not Bitcoin, right? Crypto is inherently controlled by someone. There's a single point of failure. So if you look at it, if you break it down, there's really no difference between central bank digital currencies and crypto. Central bank digital currencies, crypto is centralized. Bitcoin is the only decentralized cryptocurrency. No one controls it, nobody owns it, but at the same time, everybody owns it, right? Bitcoin solves that issue. Cryptos do not, right? So I agree with you 100%, Phil. But anyways, I thought that tweet was useful because I think that analysis is absolutely right. That is the future. That is the battle of our time. Camila?
Absolutely. I completely agree with everything that you guys said. And you know what? I just think this is good for Bitcoin. This is good for
Everything
Bitcoin.
is good for Bitcoin.
They keep going. That's what I think it's more hilarious out of all of this is that they're not hiding their plans. They're showing everyone what their plans are. And so it's time for us to take personal responsibility of not only our lives, because when we talk about these things, it's not about our lifetime, it's about generations to come, right? So we needed to start battling this out for them. A lot of people don't think that this is a battle, but this is a true battle where we're all little soldiers, and we're not just going against China, but any other power that can become like China later on. So this is something that we have to prepare ourselves for. Like I said, just call out the BS, and we probably would have had the lowest social score if we lived in China right now with how we talk and how we communicate with each other on the internet. But we just have to be louder, and they're not going to be able to stop us. This is a battle we already won. It's just that people haven't woken up to it yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would definitely be in a gulag by now, like for sure. Be great, but we'd still be broadcasting Simply Bitcoin live from the gulags. Yeah, so it'd be great. It'd be nice. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, no, we would definitely be broadcasting from the gulags, 100%. I mean, why not? So look, we're gonna have cell phones, right? Like right now, prison inmates, like they do get access to the internet and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that we'd still have our phones, which means we could still produce a show.
Do you
I mean, it may not be, huh?
Would they allow Yellow to be with us or no?
No.
They'd have to. I mean,
Malaga.
we'd have to have. I mean, at the very least, Yellow and Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's, huh?
They would become soldiers that would help us escape. Somehow they would get to the other side and just help us all escape, because that's what they do. They'll just come up with a meme, it will come to reality, and then we'll all be out. It's like their magic powers.
They'll make us do struggle sessions. You don't like Bitcoin. I don't like sign. You don't like Bitcoin.
Technically, that's what they're doing. That's kind of what they're doing now on like some weird kind of, I don't even know what to call it, like some weird social level, right? With all of these quote unquote experts that they get and trying to make you hate Bitcoin because it destroys the earth. It's like, do you really understand what's happening?
The funniest part, though, and this always happens in centrally planned things and ideas, or especially on a big scale, right, is that they ban Bitcoin mining and they ban Bitcoin transactions in the country. And it's estimated that 20% of the hash rate is still in China. And people are still mining Bitcoin. And why is that? Because you can't replace the incentive of Bitcoin, right? And I remember calling... Go ahead, Phil.
I just wanted to say, again, it's their show of power, right? That's what it's all about. It's always the show of power. Like, they get to say, we banned Bitcoin. They don't care that 20%, like, they don't care that people are still actually mining it, but they're going to make examples of everyone they catch. Sorry.
Of course. Their currency won't work. Like, and the reason it won't work is because when government currencies, and if you compare this to Bitcoin, Bitcoin doesn't center and Bitcoin doesn't debase, right? Just leave it at that, right? Look at it on a simple level. And with these central bank digital currencies, it's going to allow the government to debase instead of allow the government to censor. And those are the issues that Bitcoin fixes. And governments are never going to let go of that power voluntarily, right? So it's like, yeah, they can come up with a central bank digital currency, wrap it up with the bow and say, hey, look, this is the next best thing. And I'm sure some people out of convenience are going to go for it. But they will never be able to mimic what Bitcoin does. And that sucks for them, but it's good for most of us. Anyways, Phil, it's time for... No, it's not. There's a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. The software releases are brought to you by CipherSafe. Check them out, cyphersafe.io. Store your seed in the Cypher wheel. Nico is getting the Cypher grid. This stuff is tamper-proof, pet-proof. As I'm learning right now, it's maple syrup-proof. The link is down below. We've got Samurai Wallet version 0.99.98 that was released. That is a privacy-centric wallet. Samurai guys are totally killing it. Anyways, the link is down below. And before we go, don't forget, rain or shine, Monday through Saturday, we release audio-only episodes as well as these fun videos, right? And we are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we are on Anchor, we are on Fountain FM also, if you want to stream us some sats, but you don't have to. Check us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a very special shout out to our awesome guest. You can go give him a follow. Give him. Ha! Ha ha ha! Give her a follow. We're so used to having dudes and bros. Give her a follow at Camila Campton on Twitter. She's a team member at Swan Bitcoin, one of our favorite places. And definitely go sign up at swanbitcoin.com/Camila, or you can use ours /simplybitcoin. It's up to you guys. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from Mark Zuckerberg and the Chinese communists, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Let's be honest, the CBDCs don't stand a chance against Bitcoin.